PFT on Yahoo Sports. Peter King, Mike Florio, the big stories in the National Football League. No bigger story this year than the rise of the Cincinnati Bengals. When you think back to the questions, the turmoil, the issues in training camp, barely using Joe Burrow, is he going to be able to perform on that knee that was just destroyed against Washington in November of 2020? And here they are. And they don't know they're not supposed to be here. They don't care they're not supposed to be here. They are here to take it. So, Peter, 4-point underdogs are the Bengals. And number one, I can't help but think they're going to find a way to keep it close. And number two, if they do keep it close, can't help but think that Joe Burrow, the way that he has proven over and over and over again, he's just going to find a way, some way, somehow, to make something happen, because I don't know how many times we have to see it before we just realize this is who he is.
Look, Joe Burrow has shown over and over, and I go back to 2 years and 2 months ago, when Joe Burrow exploded onto the American sports scene, when he goes into Tuscaloosa with his LSU teammates and just shreds Nick Saban and that defense. And that is when everybody in America, basically, that's the day that he won the Heisman. And that's the day that everybody said, whoa, this guy is the first pick in the draft. And look, I think that I remember when I asked Mike Brown of the Bengals a month or so ago, hey, there are a lot of reports out at the time that that the Dolphins were going to be willing to offer you some monster package, maybe up to 5 number 1 draft choices. And he interrupted me and he said, Peter, it wouldn't matter what anybody offered us. We were set on Burrow. We were taking Joe Burrow. Case closed. And I think so that has paid off. But, Mike, 2 other things have paid off that I think will keep this game close. Number one, that defense is so much better than it was a year ago when they only had 17 sacks in 16 games. Not only with Trey Hendrickson, a legitimate threat, to wreck a game the same way like a Nick Bosa is, but I also think their kicker right now, and they get Hendrickson in free agency from Miami, but their kicker right now could be the great equalizer in this game. I think in kicking, nothing against Matt Gay, but this guy, this kicker, Evan McPherson, has just had the greatest season that a rookie kicker has ever had. I mean, Mike, he's kicked more 50-yard field goals than any kicker has kicked in one season in NFL history. I talked to him the other day, and he had a great line. He said, being a kicker is like being a sniper. You get one shot. And look, if he gets one shot in the fourth quarter, he's not going to be nervous about it.
It's amazing how we see so many kickers nowadays who, between 40 and 49, it used to be, well, maybe they'll miss 1 out of 3. They are all so reliable, no matter how clutch the moment is, and none more than McPherson. It's a given. He is going to nail whatever kick he needs to make, and something we were talking about before we got started. If this is close, if it comes down to a kick, McPherson is the guy that it's not even going to be a doubt. He's going to nail it. He's going to know that he's nailing it before he even sees the ball in position for him to strike it with his foot.
I think that's one of the things you give great credit to Duke Tobin and the scouting staff of the Bengals, because, Mike, early in the 5th round, that's high for a kicker. And the Bengals said, listen, this is one of our biggest needs. Let's solve it for the next 10 years right now.
And it's funny, every time he makes a big kick, the Bengals Twitter account blasts out, this is why you draft a kicker. And every time I see that, I think Jason Light of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would disagree with that.
Roberto Aguayo.
Because he drafted Roberto Aguayo, traded up to get Roberto Aguayo, and it didn't work out. That's it for now. Thanks for some of your time. We'll see you again.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.